You won't see another morning, you won't see another evening. Good night. Wait a minute, oh, signore. Senorita, see you later. Buenos noches, bye-bye. There are many among us who feel that life is a joke. And when you we sing this final song for you, there is you won't see another evening. Goodbye. Buenas noches, oh signore. Senorita, see you later. Buenas noches, bye-bye. There are many among us who feel that life is a joke. And for you, we sing this final song for you. There is no so long, farewell. Bye-bye. So long, sayonara. Bye-bye. Love me.
There we go.
Au revoir. Auf Wiedersehen.
How cool is that, man? I'd never get tired of watching that video, dude. That is so. And it's funny watching Al. He just makes me laugh every time I see him on there. So
I know it's so great. It's so great. Big props to Melody Myers for making that video, and Liz and the ministry camp for helping us make it, and Thaddeus for helping shooting it. And 1 million views, man. That video got over 1 million views now on
Unreal.
Facebook, which is awesome.
It's almost like being in Cheap Trick.
I know, right? God, how great would it be to be in Cheap Trick?
Dude, I'm wearing. Come on. There's a few bands I could be in. Cheap Trick is one. Judas Priest for an afternoon was almost there.
You were in we were kind of.
I was in Judas. Yeah. I'd be in Kiss. It's a lot of work though, man. Breathing fire, spitting blood, walking around in 7-inch heels. It's a lot of work.
It is.
Playing with Kiss too. It's funny because there's 3 people that walk Gene to the stage. I mean, you realize here's this guy, he's going on stage to play bass, and he's literally got 30 pounds of stuff on him like a monster. You know what I mean? And he's got 3 or 4 people helping him take every step to the stage. And then you realize he flies to the ceiling, breathes fire, does everything else that he does, like it's nothing in 30 pounds of monster costume. So that one's hard work, but yeah, good to see everybody here. We're doing it a little late on a Friday night. I figured people are tired of watching the election if you're in America. Heck, I'm getting messages from people around the world. They're watching our election. That's like how.
Oh yeah, me too. Me too. The world is. I've gotten so many texts from people in Europe and around the world, and Yeah, didn't you say Tobias from Ghost even hit you up? Like,
yeah, I'm watching.
it's crazy.
He knows
the
I'm
amount of
from
people are
Arizona.
hitting
Yep,
up.
exactly. He's like, man, I just can't even believe it. I've been glued to the TV for 2 days. And that's what it is because, look, let's face it, we're America. We love reality TV. We love fireworks. That's, we're all about a good shit show, So that's what we proudly bring to the world is
This is too much reality TV for me.
too much reality.
Too much reality. It's
I
too
know.
much fucking perspective.
About too much fucking perspective.
So,
Exactly.
Too much fucking perspective. You're going to rug on it. So I was showing you this before the break. I didn't show you what it was. I just got this and found it and opened it, and I got it. Dude, I'm so excited about this.
Because you brought me a Megadeth.
I am a nerdy
poster.
Megadeth collector.
You got to frame it, and it's and then right as you said,
yeah,
that,
well, you got to frame that one.
Yeah, then right as you said that,
I found
package
that
showed up. Oh, did that show up to you?
I've been looking for this. It must have gotten here today. Like I bought it a couple weeks ago, and it must have just showed up fucking today.
Nice.
Like I ordered it before I left to go on tour, but this is like my holy grail right here, man.
Let me guess, it's a Megadeth poster. Yeah, let me see.
Yeah. Dramatic unveiling.
Yeah. StreamYard even froze for
you. See it? It's a No More Mr. Nice Guy poster.
Check that out.
It's a No More Mr. Nice Guy poster. Like an actual. Remember, I took that one little one that you said I could have from that we had in Jackson at the store. That was like a little 11 by 17 pounds. This is like the real fucking. I mean, how many of you? I never see these. These are so
posters. Yeah.
rare.
Who made it? Down in the bottom, is it like an old one or is it a brand new one? It's probably an old one, right?
Probably.
It's like funky posters used to make those, right? Is that who did it? That was we always licensed them out to, and Funky always had the cool posters.
Yeah, this was Brockham actually did.
Brockham, okay, cool. Yeah, same thing. Yeah.
And I've never. Yep.
Brockham was.
I've never seen it. You don't see a lot of these though.
Yeah.
So pretty awesome. So we got some killer guests tonight, man. Talking about everything, man. We got Dax Nielsen from Cheap Trick. How cool is that, man?
Which is part of why I had to wear my T-shirt. Which I hope he doesn't mind because I just did an interview the other day.
Yeah, you're like the guy. Yep.
I'm like the guy that we did the interview the other day, and he had his Megadeth shirt on. He's probably wearing his Megadeth shirt, and I know to him it means the world, and to me, I'm like, all right, you could have worn anything, but it's like whatever, So it's good. So hopefully he doesn't mind. It's an ode to one of my favorite bands.
Shit. David was having some technical difficulty. Hopefully he'll come back. And I feel like that scene in Wayne's World where all of a sudden it's just Garth and he's like, hey, dude, you ever seen that scene? You remember that scene in Scanners when the dude's head blows up? But yeah, what affects the U.S. does affect the rest of the world. Absolutely. Lost Symphony, dope. So I'll just field your questions till David comes back. There he is. Hopefully he's going to be better.
Yeah, I was getting a little funky.
Yeah, you were losing you. So hopefully this will be better. So I was just answering questions and talking to people. But yeah, dude, it's a Cheap Trick, man. But I was going to say you're like the guy wearing the shirt of the band you're going to see.
I know. And I was saying there was that guy we did the interview with the other day, and he proudly had his Megadeth T-shirt on, And right as we
awesome.
I know. So I'm that guy tonight. So yeah, it's
quite all right.
Yeah, no, it's good. So yeah, we got a couple. It's going to be a drummer extravaganza tonight, which is kind of cool.
Talking about this, no cover in stores November 20th. So Dax, the connection with Dax is obviously we covered Cheap Trick off Wiedersehen. Not only is there one, there's actually 2 Cheap Trick tracks on this, the hidden bonus track. Say that 10 times real fast. Cheap Trick tracks. Yeah, but this track on here is actually another Cheap Trick song that our friend Chip's Enough from Enough's Enough sang, and it's awesome. So nobody knows that yet, but you'll find out when you get it.
Yep. It's a little hidden bonus track. So when it keeps playing, just let it keep playing at the end, and you'll hear it there. And it was fun because going in and playing on that was so cool. It's funny. I was doing some interviews this week, and I realized there's two bass players that I don't give big enough props to who were just iconic players for me growing up. One is Tom Peterson from Cheap Trick. The other is Rick Savage from Def Leppard. And both of which we covered on, of course, obviously, Wasted and even the homage to the Def Leppard cover. And then, like you said, we got two Cheap Trick songs on this record. Do you know? And
yep.
What?
And the other one.
I know what?
That you'll find out when you get.
Yeah,
and the other.
Yeah.
I said, do you know that you stole a Def Leppard album cover? Do you know that? You have a Def Leppard album cover?
No way. Is that really a Def Leppard? Are you kidding me? We went through all this work and it looks just like a Def Leppard album cover?
I had no idea.
Wow. Could have had a V8.
You know how many times we've gotten that now? It's like, yes, we knew.
Yeah. We did know that.
It was homage to Def Leppard. That's what it is. We reimagined the cover. Obviously, there's not a Les Paul in the back of the truck. It is David's bass. It is a joke and an homage for our cover record. But mostly people get it and love it, and I love it. And look at this. Look, I didn't even know if you've seen. Look at this. We'll have look at this.
Oh, did we not have those down in Texas?
We did. They were set
right?
up the merch table. Yep.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's good. We actually put them in front of our amps when we shot the video. So we shot two videos last week when we were down in Texas. We shot a video for Riff Raff and one for Eat the Rich. So those are
both with our friend Jason McMaster.
Jason McMaster,
lives down there and was enough to come in.
He's like the biggest Megadeth fan ever, and I just love the guy.
Yeah, he's so cool. So how cool is Jason?
Yep. Oh, he's so cool, man. Thank you, Diana. Ellefson.
Is that your Scarlet? Is that your Scarlet being weird?
Maybe. Should I unplug it? I don't like it myself. The Scarlet.
Yeah, try the other way. Look, I'm gonna bring these guys in while you fix it. Hey, look, kids, it's Dax Nielsen.
Hey, all right.
How you doing?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
We're good, man. We're just hanging out. Where are you? Are you in Illinois? We were talking about this yesterday. David thought you're in California. I'm like, no, I think they all live in like the Rockford area still, right? Are you guys in Illinois?
I'm in Rockford. Yeah, I've been back here. I lived in LA from 2004 to 2009, and then I moved to Nashville for a couple of years, and then kind of about a year into Cheap Trick, I realized, why am I living anywhere else than Rockford? Because it's I need to recharge here, and I can have a lot of land for way cheaper than living anywhere else.
So, dude, nice to meet you finally.
Hey, Dave.
It's nice to meet you. It's funny. We've got so many mutual friends between Charlie Benante, Rich Ross. My friends are always like, oh, man, have you ever met Dax? Dax is the coolest. He's the best. They said, I have not met Dax before. So I've met his father and obviously the other guys in the band briefly over the years.
Yeah, it's good to be out here and finally talk to you kind of in person.
Yeah, I know.
I'm glad we finally got this together.
Yeah. You had me a nice message on Instagram. I was sitting outside watching my cat, drinking some coffee, and a little message from you came up. You were happy about Auf Wiedersehen. And it's funny. So thank you for that, first of all. But it's funny, as we've been doing press for this record, I always tell people, I say, look, we wanted to stay true to the song because that's how I remember them, how we remembered them growing up. And also because our heroes, in this case, in Cheap Trick, are probably going to hear it. And we want them to not go, what the hell are these guys thinking? Like, that's a shitty version of our song, So, and I was just, I don't know if you were on earlier, but I had to wear the shirt just to be that guy for a minute. So
yeah, I've been watching for about 20 minutes or so. It's been great.
I know. We do interviews and, people like proudly wear their Megadeth shirt. Like, oh, dude, I hope he notices I'm wearing his shirt. It's like, I do see that, So
hey, we're total fanboys. We're total fanboys. That's why we made this record,
Yeah.
I was actually, this is pre-COVID. Well, actually, no, it was during it. I was doing a session with Chip's Enough in Chicago.
Nice.
And at the very end of the day, he's like, dude, Chip talks like this. He's
like, he does. Like, dude.
All the time. Yeah.
Let's go get some trim.
Goes,
yeah.
Chip. Do you have 5 minutes? I need, and I was like, yeah, sure.
Yeah. Chip is never not Chip. He's like Chip 24/7.
He does not have an off switch, Chip.
No. So anyways, he's like, you got to hear this. And so he played me down.
He did. Nice.
This is 5 months ago, 6 months ago, something like that.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
And I was blown away. It sounded so good. He's like, yeah, the drummer, he's a metal guy, and he's playing down. It was so cool.
Yeah.
Like,
It's so funny when I heard that, because we had done this record. We did it in July or June, mostly, and really within 5 weeks, we had all like 18 of these songs done. And Tom had hit up Chip and said, hey, put a song on here. And really at the 11th hour, he gives us Downed. And we're kind of like, okay, we got to kind of mix it to make it sound appropriate, because Chip is a one-man band, and he can be a one-man Cheap Trick cover band all on his own. He doesn't need any of us. He can just do it on his own. And I got to be honest with you, I was so thrilled to play on that. Heaven Tonight was my first Cheap Trick record as a teenager. That was the one, which why Auf Wiedersehen is. Auf Wiedersehen is kind of that one track that us metalheads can all agree on, and something we can actually play because it's pretty heavy, and it just kind of pretty grinding. And
it's easy to interpret.
It is, and I got funny. I'll tell you a story. I know Anthrax covered it, so
they did with John Bush on the sound.
Yeah, and watching Charlie play it, Charlie's just got this very distinct, very Anthraxy kind of groove.
Right.
And I played with him and other stuff that we've done, Metal Allegiance and the Mega Cruise. We did a big Kiss jam, and he's really tight in the kit. He plays very well with himself. But we did with Megadeth, I think it was in '95, we went to Japan. And we were there for like 3 weeks, which is forever in Japan.
Yeah, over there.
That's eternity in Japan.
Yeah. How much sushi and noodles can a guy eat, right? So we were there for 3 weeks. And so finally, and then we can play like 5 nights in Tokyo, which we're like, all right, we got to change the set list stuff. So we all loved, Auf Wiedersehen. So we're like, well, let's play Auf Wiedersehen. The fans will love it because Cheap Trick live at Budokan, they'll all know it, right?
Right.
So we learned the song backstage, and we go out and we play it, and they're looking at us like, what the hell are these guys doing? Like, what is this song? This is not a Megadeth song. And what we didn't realize is that as much as we grew up on like live at Budokan, and especially live at Budokan from Cheap Trick, that was probably 10, 12 years earlier. And our fans did not know that, piece of history. Our fans were pretty young at the time, so it was kind of like whoosh, right over our heads. So it was fun to do it now with Al, with Charlie, with Tom, and Andy, our guitar player, and do it in a way that is kind of like come full circle. So
yeah, I mean, we play over there every 2-3 years still, and everybody's like, "Are you guys still huge?" And I go, "The people that were at Budokan are literally 65 years old now. Like they don't know, they're not coming out anymore." But I mean, they don't
go to concerts.
Their kids, their children are coming to the shows now. But the actual people. There's one girl, Junko. I don't know her last name is, but she was at Budokan, and she's been to like 205 Cheap Trick shows. She'll fly over. She'll fly over to like Poughkeepsie or something like that, or somewhere in Iowa, just from Japan to see one show and then fly back.
At the end of 1992, Megadeth, we had a big record, Countdown to Extinction, and me and Marty Friedman, who lives in Japan now, and is. He is Japanese, basically, right? I mean, he thinks and he speaks Japanese. So he and I went over to do the press junket right before Christmas. And I remember for, I think Burn Magazine or something, we did all these photos outside of Budokan, which is where we're going to play a couple months later. And just obviously always the Cheap Trick references, because that was the one. I mean, of course, Kiss played there. But Cheap Trick really made it famous. I mean, Michael Schenker did a live album from there. A lot of people played there. But it's funny how Cheap Trick, at least here to Americans, I think really made that venue. It was a moment.
Well, Rick has been quoted a ton of times that Cheap Trick made the Budokan famous, and the Budokan made Cheap Trick famous. Kind of
well put.
One hand washes the other kind of thing.
Well put.
Yeah, I know. Like Ozzy did one there, and 100 people have done live albums from Budokan, but it's like Rockford with Cheap Trick. Like they're not from Chicago; they're from Rockford.
From Rockford. Yeah.
Don't fuck that up. So
question. Question for you. So you're Rick Nielsen's son. You've grown up in the legacy. You've been around it. So 2 questions. What is it like playing in Cheap Trick?
From what I remember, it was really cool. It's been 8 months, so which
yeah, right. It's way back in the olden days.
I used to be in a band that was really great. Playing in Cheap Trick is the greatest. I mean, I've been a professional for 22 years now, and I've been in Cheap Trick for 10 of those. So I've been all over the place. I played for Dick Dale, the surf guitar guy, for 3 years.
Sure.
Then I went.
Oh, that's awesome.
The females figure out. I played for this girl Brandy Carlisle, who's real big now for her a bunch of years ago. But Cheap Trick, it's like I've never seen them phone it in. Ever. I mean, I've been around it obviously since I'm 40 years old. Been around my whole life. But
Right.
they've never been tired and walked on stage and shown it. Like, it doesn't matter if you're arguing backstage or whatever. You get on stage and it's like, okay, this is what we do. Like, just pause and go up there. And I mean, I've never seen Robin not give everything he's got.
Yeah.
I've never seen Tom not look super cool, just play the greatest bass on the planet, you know. And,
I agree with that one.
Rick,
yeah.
And then there's Rick who just like arms up and some other chords still playing, and there's picks flying everywhere. You know, you know. I grew up.
So second question: How did you get the gig in Cheap Trick? I mean, okay, so your dad is the songwriter. He's Rick Nielsen. He's one of the most famous faces of the band. Like, how did you get the gig? Did you have to audition? Did he one day just say, "Hey, I need you over here playing"? Like, what? Like, how did that happen?
Did Bun just retire?
Well, long story, extremely long. In 2001, I had a band with my brother, and we went on tour opening for Cheap Trick for a whole summer.
Okay.
Because we were super cheap, just give us like a thing of pita bread and some hummus, or probably back then it was not even that. Tortilla chips, and Tostito dip, or something.
At least they didn't make you do a buy-on.
They probably did. I mean, I could talk for hours about that. There was one night where we were literally starving, and Rick, had like 6 bags of Chinese food, and like Carla, our tour manager, was like, "Here, guys, come on, just like take these." And Rick caught wind of it and made us pull over on the highway. The bus cut up, and he took his Chinese food back. So, anyway,
awesome.
So in 2001, all of a sudden one day, Bunny came to me and goes, "Hey, like my back is killing me. Can you do the encore tonight?" And I was like, I mean, I grew up around the band, but I'd never played with them ever.
Was the encore Auf Wiedersehen?
It was. I think it was Dream Police and like 2 other songs. Probably Auf Wiedersehen. Who knows? So I mean, with no warning, I never thought I'd play with Cheap Trick ever. I never sat in with them in my life. One day, it's like, you're doing the encore, and that happened. That lasted for about a week, and then one day he was like, I'm flying home to have back surgery tomorrow. You're doing the rest of the tour. So like for the next 3 months, the rest of the summer, I was doing my band, changing clothes, and then like going and doing Cheap Trick for 90 minutes. So that was and so, I mean, that really was like my first experience with the band. Like I said, totally unprovoked, unthought of. I never, ever thought it'd be anything but the 4 guys.
Sure. And
then there was a few times Bunny, he had a health issue one time on the way from Seattle to Boise, and I got a phone call at 4 a.m. said, "Can you be at O'Hare in 3 hours?" And I went and opened up for Aerosmith. 18,000 people.
Well, see, now once you've done the gig, now you're the sub, right? So now you're the go-to guy. You know?
So I mean, so I've kind of been the sub for all these years, and then literally I was at dinner with Rick one night, and phone call from Cheap Trick's management. And he's like, "You should take that." And I was like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, you should take that." And I got on the horn. It was their manager at the time.
Yeah.
He's going, "Can you be in Austin, Texas in 2 days?" And I was like, "What's up?" He goes, I can't really talk about it, but we need your help for a little bit.
Yeah.
2 days later, I was on stage at Austin City Limits with 5 cameras in my face. No rehearsal.
Yeah, I know the gig.
We sound checked, and it was like, "You're going to be seen by 30 million people, doing this. Like, are you nervous?"
Don't fuck up. Yeah, no mistakes.
Yeah. I was 3 days away from going to Germany with this artist I was playing with at the time, and I'd in those 48 hours, call, pay to switch my name, found another drummer who'd also played with that guy, subbed him out. Yeah. I paid $400 to switch my name on the ticket, and then hash out 90 minutes worth of music, and I thought it'd be a week or two before you can read about what kind of happened. It's not all the details.
So did you know the tunes? I mean, just being around it, did you kind of just intrinsically know it, or was it kind of that's my dad's band, I got my own thing going, I'm doing my own thing?
Both. I mean, I never ever sat down and practiced so that one day I could be in Cheap Trick. I said, I mean, there was a point where Tom left the band in the early 80s,
right,
for 5 years, something like that. But
I remember that. By the way, is when I stopped listening to them. I think I listened to the first album. I mean, that's how big of a Tom Peterson fan I am. It's like, it's like once Ace Frehley left, it's like, I'm not into Kiss, right? Yeah, I'm done. So I get it. Yeah.
So no, like I thought it was those 4 guys for life, and I never ever had any dreams of being in Cheap Trick, and like I thought they'd hash it out after 2 or 3 weeks, like you should, like a marriage would have. As you know, you've been in a band for 30 years.
Trust. Oh, believe me, I know.
You fight a lot, you love a lot, and all that. And, it's been 10 years. So
wow, that's cool. It's funny. I did a gig. I played bass for Ronnie Montrose. Me and Jimmy DeGrasso.
Nice.
And Keith St. John. Yeah, Jimmy called me because he was in Megadeth with me. And it's funny, I fought to not ever let Nick Menza be out of Megadeth for the same thing. We were kind of the 4 superheroes of the 90s. And I was just like, man, we gotta keep things together, because once it splinters, again, being my Kiss and even Cheap Trick fan, it's like, dude, once it splinters, man, the fans start to, it starts to change,
Yeah.
And we were obviously very young and in the middle of a pretty robust, run. And then Jimmy DeGrasso came in. So I kind of was like, I don't know, Jimmy, but I always liked the guy, and I tell you what, he came in probably like you did. He came in and played 18 songs top to bottom one night. And it was kind of like, is he going to sub for Nick? And then same thing, Nick had some health stuff, and next thing, he's in the band. And then Jimmy and I have become dear friends and played in a lot of stuff together. And that was one of the calls. He called me and he said, hey man, we're going to do these, our bass player is going over to play with Pat Benatar full time, and we need a player. And I thought, dude, you'd be perfect. And I said, yeah, look, that first Montrose record is basically a P bass turned into an SVT, played with a pick,
right?
Done, right? And our first couple of shows were opening for Def Leppard. And it was really funny in Florida and Arkansas or something. And I remember the Def Leppard guys like Joe Elliott and Phil Collin came in the dressing room, and they're like fanboying over Ronnie. It was their decision to put Ronnie on the bill,
Right.
And they're like, oh my God, this is Ronnie Montrose, our favorite hero. And I'm sitting there going, holy shit, it's freaking Def Leppard. That's you guys, I mean, as you can tell by the cover of our album,
yes.
You're right, kind of an important band in my life, And so it was just awesome, man. And we, I don't know, a year or two later, we ended up doing a show in Walnut Creek, Northern California, Walnut Creek. And it was a corporate gig for Shell Oil, and Cheap Trick was the headliner, Montrose, and then War, right? So total Bay Area.
Yeah.
And this is where I think Phil Lesh and all the Bay Area guys came out, everybody that had played with Ronnie and maybe even Night Ranger, I don't know, just everybody came out.
Right.
And I remember it was funny because I remember Rick was throwing pics at this husband and wife in the front row who refused to get up and kind of rock out. And I remember I was standing on the side of over on stage right watching the show, and I remember Rick came over, we're just kind of bullshitting while he's playing, and he's and I think the tour manager or his tech came over and he goes, oh my God, that was the president and his wife of Shell Oil, and Rick's taunting him, throwing pics at him, get off your ass, get up and rock, and so it was classic Rick, I love that. So it's rock and roll,
He's, as far as I know, he's never really gotten in trouble for that. People get the shtick, and he's just
exactly
he's looking at him, and you can't laugh.
Yeah, he's not mean spirited. He's it's rock and roll. He's just his look. How could you hate the guy? It's too fun. So
speaking of, you said Chips Enough's always Chips Enough, and there's 2 other people I've met. Rick Nielsen's always Rick Nielsen. He's that's not some shtick, and then Steven Tyler is Steven Tyler.
Yeah.
That guy is.
Hey, so third question: what is it like growing up in the house of Rick Nielsen? I get like he's your dad. If you ask my son Roman, he'd be like, I don't know, my dad yells at his computer all the time, and he's, I don't know, whatever. But I don't, I mean, I feel like your dad was famous rock star, and just growing up around it. I mean, stories or?
I mean, there's 2 parts to it. I mean, one, Cheap Trick. I've been in the band 10 years, and I've never played less than 100 shows a year. So
wow,
and that's kind of at the end of their career, the last decade or so.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, they were playing 200 shows a year, and then when I was 8, the flame hit, and they got huge again. So then they were really gone. Yeah. So I mean, when he was home, my parents have been married since 1969. He's a great dad, but when he was home, he was great, but like he'd be gone. This is way before FaceTime or even cell phones. Like, so, I mean, you'd rarely hear from him, you know. When he would call, he'd probably talk to my mom for 5 minutes, you know.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But when he was
I'm
home,
at Budokan. I got to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when he was home, he was a good drinker back in the day. So like, he would come home and he'd love to go out, or like if Megadeth was in town, he'd go see you guys and then invite you over to the house. So like, you know, I've got so many memories of here's Tommy Lee and, you know, Nikki Sixx at the house and Guns and Roses.
You know, it's funny. My wife used to work for Doc McGee, and it was a moment. Yeah, she said 3 a.m. one time. Rick called like, "Hey, Tommy Lee gave me your number and, you know, said like, you know where the parties are." You know, I was like in LA, and it's funny. I think the first time I met Rick, he was back. He came to see us in Nagoya, Japan, ironically of all things, and we were just getting ready to go on stage. So it was kind of a cool, hero idol moment, and. As you know, your heroes come to see you play now, and it's like, wow, I can say Steven Tyler, like, oh my God, you know. So you kind of meet your heroes doing this, and you realize your heroes are just like us, you know. They're working musicians, and I think that's probably the thing that kind of really, you know, we did some dates with Errol Smith, and Steven was super cool, and you realize, man, he's just, you know, he's a hardworking dude. Steve Harris, same thing. I mean, when he's not on stage with Iron Maiden, he's backstage running the business of Iron Maiden. I mean, he's like it's like being at the office all day, and then at night change stage clothes and go out and melt faces, and you know.
I can relate to that.
You know now, right?
Yeah, manager and singer.
Yeah, pretty much.
Speaking
and there's our
drummer,
friend Dave McClain.
Dave McClain, how are you, buddy?
Dave,
hey, how's it going?
Dave, do you know Dax?
No, you know we've oh no, I just woke up my dog. I messaged Dax a couple times on Instagram a few years ago, so we've kind of met. But hey, digitally now.
It's good to see you in person.
Hey, I brought.
So is that your new house in Wisconsin?
This is it. Yeah.
Nice.
Here comes my dog. You want some screen time?
Oh shoot! Oh, here he comes.
See him.
Yeah.
Fighter. I thought he was going to run off the couch and come screaming at the camera or something.
Yeah, here you
go. So you just moved to Oshkosh, and Dax, you're in Rockford. It's funny, we're going back next week.
And I'm in Green Bay.
Green Bay. In 2 weeks, actually, we're going to do some shows. We're going to do Pekin, Illinois, Indianapolis, Chicago, Green Bay, and then we're just putting together a new show now up in Madison on Sunday the 22nd. So we're going to, and these are, I think the show in Chicago literally has like 25 person capacity.
Is that the album release night?
Exactly.
Yep.
Hey, I got my copy of the. Oh wait, that's a.
Oh, you did. Hey, I got one. Oh wait, that's the wrong one.
Oh wait, that's the one you stole.
Hey, let's see it. I want to compare notes. Let's see it, because people give a shit all the time. Go, do you guys know you ripped off the Def Leppard?
It's actually totally different. It's a totally different sky. It's a totally different truck. It's a totally different moon. Everything on it is different.
Yeah, yours goes do 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 do, and this one goes do 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 do.
Yeah, you know what? Their truck doesn't say Ellefson on the cover. I noticed that.
It's totally different. What this is a photorealistic modern interpretation of the original cover. That's what it is.
And it's funny, the bass. I literally was out in my room next door is my dining room. I'm literally there with an iPhone, like trying to find the right angle, because I know how the angle of the instrument comes off the truck. So I'm trying to get the same angle to take it so I can send it over to Melody and kind of fly it in there so it looks like, you know, so it looks like.
Oh, and I was doing the same thing at the same time with my David Ellefson bass, laying on my back on the couch trying to take photos from different angles. It was ridiculous what we went through to make
everybody grab a bass. Let's take some pictures. Let's go. See who comes up best.
I could go get my bass.
Okay, perfect. Great. Well, it's funny, you know, with hey, does Tom live out here by me? Not to break his anonymity where he lives. I heard he might be out here in Scottsdale or something, right? Or is that a secret?
Tom Peterson?
Yeah.
No, he's been he's in Nashville for 25 years now.
Nashville, okay, cool. Yeah, you know, it's funny because I deal with, you know, so Jackson Guitars, also with Gretsch. So I'm always, you know, seeing cool Tom Peterson instruments up at the Fender headquarters and stuff, you know. So
that Gretsch roundup he's got going on right now is just unbelievable.
Amazing. Yep. So friggin' cool. So Dave, so you moved to Wisconsin.
Like a month ago.
He wanted to be closer to me.
Well,
I couldn't
and
stay
you
away.
are. Yeah. So have you been to Rockford before, Dave?
I don't think I have. I'm sure I've played near there, but yeah. I've never been there.
I remember the first time we went through there was like the late '90s. We played there, and it was one of those. It was like playing Budokan. Like it's like, oh my God, Cheap Trick lives here. Holy shit! I wonder if they're going to come out to the show. You know, it's like one of those kind of things. Who knows?
I actually go to Rockford pretty frequently. Yeah. I actually go to Rockford pretty frequently, actually.
Do you? Yeah.
What? Looking
and
for
every
Rick
time.
Nielsen?
Yeah, every time I'm there, I'm like, God, I wonder if I'll run into Rick Nielsen. Like literally, I think that every time I go to Rockford. Still, I haven't yet. People always say I have a bunch of friends who are like, hey, Rick's always out and about in town and places. Unfortunately, I've never run into your dad.
Now you'll see Dax at the grocery store, over at Walgreens or CVS or something, you know. So
small town, my friend.
Small town, yeah. Now Dax, your family's there. You've got kids and everything, right? So I mean, you're raising your family in Rockford. Is it kind of like you growing up there? Same thing, or?
I mean, yeah, pretty much. I mean, I'm the only one of my friends that pursued music. Everybody else is a normal job, and of the people that still live here, I've got 3 or 4 good high school friends that we've been friends since high school. It's like they don't think of me as the guy that plays. I mean, I've always been a musician, but not.
Yeah.
They don't think whatever.
You're like their keg party buddy from high school, right? Yeah.
I still hold the record.
Yeah, you remember Dax from student council, right? Yeah, well, he just lives down the street.
9 out of 10 chicks polled preferred me to the other candidate.
Yeah, exactly. Oh God, yeah. Don't even get started, man. It's unbelievable.
So Dave, where'd you move from to Oshkosh?
So I've been out. Okay, so, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't know you were talking to Dave. Yeah.
There's too many days around here.
Too many days, right? Yeah. I'll go by David. That'll be fine. I was going to ask the same thing. Where did you moved from California, right?
Yeah. So I was out. We were out in the Bay Area. While I was in Machine Head, I was there for 24 years, out in like the Oakland area, Alameda, and before that, Phoenix was when I was with Sacred Reich,
right?
The first time, and then I moved out there from San Antonio. And that's where I grew up in San Antonio, and then moved to when I was 20, got the hell out of Dodge and moved to Hollywood. Did all that thing, and did 5 years in Hollywood, and then got the gig with Sacred Reich and moved out there. So
cool.
We were just in San Antonio last week. We did those shows. We played San Antonio, Houston, and Slidell, Louisiana. So you kind of out there.
Jason McMaster came out and we shot 2 videos for Eat the Rich and Riff Raff, which was really cool, man, getting to hang with Jason a little bit. You guys have some history, right? You were in Yeah.
So Jason back in the day used to be, he was before Dangerous Toys, he was in a band called Watchtower. And then me and we had a band, S.A. Slayer. It was like the other Slayer.
S.A. Slayer.
Yeah. And so we used to kind of trade shows with Watchtower. So we'd go to Austin, do a show. They'd come up and do a show with us. We'd go to Houston, play with Hellstar. So it was like this little triangle of metal bands, And so we all just kind of broke off and did our own thing. Jason became a big rock star in Dangerous Toys, sporting a Woody, And so yeah,
I know. I remember that. I remember him being in Watchtower. He was like fanboying out. He's like a big Megadeth fan, right? So I remember talking to him backstage at like the show on like the Killing Is My Business tour or something. And then I turn on, it's like 1988. Turn on MTV, and him and Kip Winger were like all over MTV. I was like, is that guy from that band down in Texas? That's him.
Yeah,
he's like just killing it with Dangerous Toys. Sporting the Woody,
totally.
and
I was probably with him at the Megadeth show because we went to the Megadeth. I think it was Megadeth Exciter.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
We were at that show, probably together.
Well, the cool thing about Jason is, Jason's a huge fanboy too. So when he calls me, we're like 15-year-old girls. You know what I mean? Like he's nerding out over shit I did. We did that show with KK Downing. He's a huge, it's such fun, man. Me and Jason always have this really cool fanboy back and forth thing.
He's the sweetest. He's always been the most just real, genuine, just sweetest dude, and he still is. He's still the same dude. It's awesome.
Yeah, he is. He's great.
Very, very cool.
So
I'll tell you one
thing.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Tom. Go ahead. No, good.
I just wanted to jump in real quick and say that I was going to mention this earlier. Our new coffee, the new Combat Ellefson Coffee Company NAPALM in the Morning collaboration, is now live and available on the website. You can go buy it right now.
And it is quite good. Not drinking it now, but it is good. I had a bag of it. Well, we talked about it on the last live stream a couple weeks ago, and I just gotten a bag from the roaster, and I must say it's quite good. It's really good. It's like a French roast, almost a roast in peace ish, but all French roast, and it's super, super good. It truly is napalm in the morning.
I can attest to your coffee being really good, because when I did that, when I was doing the Sacred Reich record, and you came in and I played on one of the songs on your last solo record.
Played on Hammer Comes Down on Sleeping Giants.
I was just like, just pay me and just give me some coffee. Give me a bag of coffee. That's all.
That's how I pay for everything. I pay for studio time with coffee. I figure if I show up bearing gifts, it's like, hey, dude, hey, let's plug in and go. Let's rock this, and then I figure maybe I can divert the ugly, that uncomfortable conversation about money,
Yeah. Just throw coffee around.
Throw coffee around. Exactly.
Hey, it worked. It worked.
Hey, good. Well, I'm glad Dax will bring some coffee your way when we drive through the area.
Sounds good.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you guys should seriously come out and hang out with us and jam. Like we're doing in Madison. I know we're doing a live stream, a CD release live stream on the 22nd, which is kind of a new cool thing we're sort of announcing here today. We're doing a live stream concert live from Madison, the studio where I record my vocals in Madison. And then we have another show in Chicago.
It's Madtown Mix Studios, right? Isn't that what it is? November?
Yep.
So
you guys should come out. You guys should come out and hang out with us in Madison or somewhere.
Chicago's that's the one that's like literally 25 people, I think, right? Are allowed in the building.
I think it's a little more than that. But yeah, a lot of these shows are limited capacity. We're being, look, we just did it in Texas. We know how to do it. Keep the distance, wear the masks, and we just did it. And it was great to be out. It was amazing to play shows, but at the same time we had to be careful, and we kept our distance. We still did meet and greets. We still signed stuff. We just kind of wore masks, and we all came home. We all tested for COVID. We're all negative. Mask up, man. Exactly.
It's funny, when I saw these like laying on the table on the merch booth, I thought they were like girls' panties. I'm like, hey, when did we get those in the merch line? Oh, those are the masks. It does have an interesting smell to it. It's like got a not like that. I didn't mean like that, but we digress. All right. Anyway.
All right. So Dax, what did you think of Auf Wiedersehen?
Oh, I loved it. I mean, I remember when Anthrax did it, and I loved
awesome.
Charlie's playing on that, and I liked the John Bush era actually.
I did too.
That song.
Me too. I love it. I love the sound of white noise.
I love when that song only starts out with Charlie on the double bass.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit! Like,
yeah.
I grew up a metalhead, Megadeth, Pantera, you name it, but I could never play fast double bass. And then I heard only, and it was like, I can play that fast. Like, that's what I mean. Thanks, Charlie. But then, Auf Wiedersehen was good, and then the new version is even better, obviously.
Thank you. Yeah. And it's funny, I noticed
they finally got a decent singer.
Two actually. So
yeah.
But the cool thing about that is, I actually went back and listened to the Anthrax version. And it's funny, Charlie plays pretty similarly on ours, which is cool. It's funny. It's
our tempo
kind of
pulled back a little bit, though, which I kind of like that our tempo.
We got a little faster.
A little more 4 on the floor. It pockets a little better, in my opinion. You know, with the thrash bands, that's the number one thing we do. Oh, let's do a cover. Oh, we'll speed it up. You know, we play some Sabbath song and speed it up, or take the Sex Pistols and speed it up. And it was fun with this record to not do that. You know, to really keep it pretty true to the BPMs and keep the notation the same. And you know, and it's interesting. You know what Al Jorgensen with the vocal melody. You know, on his verse. You know, because he deviated, but I like it, and in a way, you know, he's good friends with Robin, and you know, and you know your band, so he obviously knew, you know, he didn't want to do something, you know. Look, it's Al Jorgensen, he's got to be Al. You know,
he's got to be Al.
We want him to be Al. You know, he's counterculture. So.
And the funny thing was, I'd already went and tracked that whole song. I tracked a version of it. And then Al agreed to do it, and he did the vocals, and I'm like, fuck, put Al everywhere. I don't care. I mean, it's Al Jorgensen, you know what I mean? So someday maybe we'll release the all Tom version as like a B-side or something. It was kind of cool. I liked it.
the Tom remix. You know, McClain, I got to.
Yep.
What's that?
I was just gonna say, me and McMaster actually did a Cheap Trick cover a couple years ago, and we did Downed, my favorite Cheap Trick song of all time, from the Over the Edge soundtrack for Dating Myself.
Wow, you know, you're right. I had that soundtrack. That's funny. Yeah. I had that same one. Yeah.
Such a great movie.
Well,
That was like the first Bill and Ted movie level kind of movie, right? Very cult kind of rockers only it. So
classic.
So I was just gonna say, dude, you freaking killed it on this record, man, with your tracks you played on Dave. I mean, just freaking awesome. That's why I want to get you a full copy of the. When we get off, we'll email Dax and get you a copy of this. You'll dig it, man. McClain just freaking killed it. It's so good.
You know, I thank you so much. It was an honor to be asked, actually, and I still haven't heard "Tear It Loose," by the way.
Really? I thought I sent you the whole. Didn't I see the sound card of the whole record? I thought I did.
I don't think so.
I'll send it to you. I thought I did. I'll send it to you right now.
Yeah, it was so cool because I was just on my way just to play drums one day, you know, down at because my old guitar player from Machine Head, Phil, his new band Violence, they would let me play drums in the studio or whatever. They'd practice like twice. There it is.
I know it just started playing. Hang on, sorry. Stop. All right.
Yeah, so Tom called me up on the way down. I'm just driving down to play some drums, and he's like, "Hey man, you want to do some songs?" And I was like, "Yeah, fuck yeah, let's do it." So, Free Wheel Burning, something I've always wanted to play on because like it's such a killer song, but you know, and you know, now with Scott Travis in the band, it's like you put that engine into the Judas Priest songs, you know, the Scott Travis engine. And I always wanted to hear Free Wheel Burning with like, you know,
you think about Judas Priest, you know, certain bands have either, you know, just there's a signature thing, and a Priest obviously has many. There's obviously Halford and their guitar team and everything. But, you know, they've got some of the most iconic drum intros, you know, either Painkiller, Riding on the Wind, Exciter. I mean, God, the list goes. I don't know, Dax, if you were a big Priest fan or not, but you know, it's like they had. I mean,
Take on the World.
Yes, I mean, just these iconic freaking drum parts and drum breaks, drum intros. You know, to song. In Megadeth, we have bass intros. In Judas Priest, you have drum intros. You know?
Yeah, right.
So yeah.
Hey Dax, there's another double bass intro that's slow, like the Anthrax one. So Take on the World. That was like the first double bass thing I ever played when I was a kid.
Nice. Yeah, I'll check it out after this.
And I would get tired playing. I remember playing it at my friend's his sister's Halloween party, and we're like, we're gonna play Take on the World. I remember, and I remember like halfway through the first verse, I was just like, oh my legs, I'm gonna die. And it was like the slowest double bass ever.
We played that song. We did that show with KK last year.
Right? So you know, we learned
KK
something
and Les
about that.
Binks.
That was kind of their Judas Priest attempt, kind of at a come on, the Queen song.
We Will Rock You.
We Will Rock You, right? Yeah. Is that We Will Rock You? Is that the name of it? Why am I brain farting right now?
I don't know.
Yeah, We Will Rock You.
Yeah, We Will Rock You.
That's the name of it.
Yeah, and I think they used it for the Wolverhampton
The
soccer
Wolves,
team,
the
for
soccer
the
team.
football
It
team.
was their
Yeah,
theme
so
song.
it was
Yep.
kind of like a home. It was their theme song, so that was like a big thing around that area. When we did this gig, that gig with KK in Wolverhampton last year. So, and it's kind of weird, obviously for you drummers, it's easy because you're in the riff, you are the riff. But when you lay out that long, and then the vocal carries it, and then you go no, right, and you come in to play the part. It's so weird how you get lost, right? Like I remember, it's funny. I got invited to go over and do the Gene Simmons Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp, and I was with Brent from Faster Pussycat. He was one of the counselors, and he had a band. And this band were all these guys from Israel, right? And they wanted to really impress Gene, and they were playing "Do You Love Me?" And again, another great, drum groove. It opens with the drums. The drums carry, you really like my limousine, right? And you realize when you sit out, like we couldn't figure. I mean, I wasn't playing in them. I kind of came in to just be the kind of rock star drop-in guy for a minute. Said, "Here, pick up the bass and play it." I said, God, it's funny. I haven't ever played that song, and counting how many times it was, da na na, do you love me, da na na, right? And how complicated it was to get 4 people to just come in at the same time and play that part, because the drums carry the whole thing, So
sometimes the easiest songs are the hardest things to play.
Well, Dax said it before with Cheap Trick too. It's kind of the same thing with the Megadeth songs. You hear them so much, but there's a difference between knowing it and like playing it and just loving the song and knowing it. You know what I mean? It's
for sure.
Kind of, when you really get into the nuances of having to play the song and have it be perfect, it's a different thing than just like, you just think, oh, I've heard this song enough. I know it, but it's a different thing,
Yeah. Well, dude, that was when, like when you sent me the version of Wasted you guys were doing, Def Leppard, I was, I grew up on the Rick Allen version. So I'm like, killer, let's do this. And then when I heard the version, it was a little more 4 on the floor, rocked out. So I remember I'm texting Tom and saying, hey, do you want this more like, just kind of more like modern rocked out, or do you want it? And he's like, do whatever you want to do. And I could just hear it where it was going, where you guys were taking it to this other, making it a little different. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah. Dude, how rad was Rick Allen's stutter kick on?
Oh, dude, that beat. I felt weird not doing that beat. That was the thing. I felt weird just going,
Yeah. Well, in fact, what is the song that they? Oh shit, I gotta find it, man. What is the song that they had on Through the Night? Here, what are the songs on that album?
You got it right there.
Tumbling down. I can look at it. I was just going by memory.
Walls Came Tumbling Down. Is that the one that has the na na na? Yeah, right. He's got that like stutter kick thing in there, kind of like with Clive Burr on Number of the Beast, right?
Yeah.
With the Prisoner. No.
Oh, dude. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, again, iconic drum parts that just carry the whole tune, man.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that was like those are all my jams right there. That's like one of the best drum intros ever right there. Like Gangland off Number of the Beast.
And Maiden still play. They still play The Prisoner. At least they have recently. And I remember that's one of those tunes you're like, oh my God, they're playing The Prisoner. So everybody runs to the stage and they go like, you're back in catering going, oh my God, it's The Prisoner. You run out and you go listen to them play it.
You never know what they're gonna play, man.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, dudes, I don't want to keep you guys up. It's late. There was
I brought one more thing for show and
tell.
All
right, let's see. What do you got?
I heard you guys talking about Kiss when I was backstage.
Yeah.
I heard somebody talking backstage before. They were saying there's a lot of you people that like boxing, aren't you? So I can check it out.
Gun?
So I got.
Oh yeah. There, come on.
But
there you go.
So I got with the stuff in it. Check it out.
Oh, that's awesome.
I got the order blank, man. Look at that.
That's the original one.
Yeah, check it out.
Is that like from 1978?
Yeah, dude, the
Nice.
tattoos.
The tattoos. Nice. And it's funny, back in that day, nobody had tattoos. Like, nobody had tattoos until Bon Scott, No,
just that little one Paul Stanley had of the rose was like,
yeah,
dude, he's got a tattoo.
Yeah, like nobody's parents would let you get a tattoo when I was growing up, like even in rock and roll, you know.
Dax and Tom, you guys we're practically neighbors, man. Come on over and play with my Kiss collection.
Yeah, I'll bring mine. I'll bring my Kiss collection.
All right.
Or as the lyric goes, rock and rollin', got my Kiss records out, right?
Hey,
dude,
go.
Best,
right.
The best.
Come on. I mean, when Cheap Trick mentioned Kiss, you're like, okay, these guys are fucking cool. This is a cool
I know.
You know,
Yeah.
And then Rick played on Gene's solo album, so I mean,
yeah.
all the good
Gene
times.
almost signed the band before they got signed.
Oh, really?
He
Oh,
came
kidding.
out to I think it's Max's Kansas City they were playing, and like there was 2 people in the audience. No, there's 3 people in the audience. It was Gene and Paul watching the band, and then at the door was Rick Johansson. From the New York Dolls. Yeah, and he was like reading a folded up newspaper and never looked up. They say he like never looked up once, and like he was like doing a crossword, like, and then just like left halfway.
Tough crowd.
Yeah.
Dang. Brutal.
Wow, that is awesome, man. Well,
That's
it's you know, it's funny. I was just saying, you know, Cheap Trick is like, there's a couple of bands that like everybody can agree on. And we were talking to Al Jorgensen about this. It's like Cheap Trick is just a band that everybody can agree on. And you know, Van Halen, you know, I mean, with Eddie just passing, same thing. It was just a band that everybody could agree on. Any era, you know, 70s, 80s, girls, guys, metalheads, chicks, whatever, you know, everybody loved Van Halen. Same thing with Cheap Trick. Everybody has an era of Cheap Trick that they like, you know, so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
totally.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, we all need to definitely hang out. Dave, we need to hang out. You're my neighbor now.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Glad we're
Definitely.
connected. Dash, we'll get you a copy of the album too, and we'll give you dates. So, you know,
I actually just emailed it to both of you guys. I sent you the SoundCloud link for the whole record.
Yeah.
Thank
and
you.
I don't know if you're comfortable coming out and COVID and everything. Obviously, we respect that, but definitely if you're wanting to get out and come out and hang, would be great to have you guys and hang out. You know,
we'll be in touch. Hopefully, I can make it. I got 2 little kids. So let me try to find a sitter.
You know, it's funny when I was sending you the time, I was sending Pacific. For some reason, I didn't know if you lived in LA or something. So thank you for hanging. It's like midnight where you are, so we'll let you go to bed.
This is 3 hours past my bedtime. I know.
Well, thank you for staying up with us.
I hate to say this, but I even took a little nap before that. I'm like, what's the deal? Like, we're all used to being on tour, going to bed at like 4 and 5 in the morning, and now like during COVID, we're all home, and I'm like, I'm in bed at 9:30. It's nuts.
Oh, me too. No, I took a nap too, dude. I got tired of I'm watching the election, so I put on an episode of Psych because I've been trying to binge watch Psych, and you know, the big deal around here was like cleaning the carpets today. You know, so that was it.
Yeah.
I went and run in a rug doctor, and I'm cleaning That was my cardio today. Was cleaning.
Oh my god.
My 3-year-old took a dump on the bath mat today.
You want to borrow my rug doctor? I still have it.
I literally wipe 3 asses a day. It's I offer to wipe my wife's.
But wait, you only have 2 kids. Yours.
My own. Yeah.
I had to do the math quick. It was.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the real life of, you know, they always have the real housewives, the real rock stars of the world. This is what our lives really are like.
Oh my God.
I called my tour manager about 3 months into COVID. I was like, I understand your job now. Like trying to wrangle a bunch of fucking
cats.
I'm cursing like crazy.
Yeah.
Trying to wrangle a bunch of cats and just a bunch of, you know, people that don't want to be wrangled.
That's what my wife said with management. She's, you know, they went from managing Motley Crue to managing my children. You know, she's like, look, if I'm going to wipe asses, I think I'll have my own kids. You know? There comes a point in time, you know. I know it's so funny, isn't it? Because, and we just had a little experience with it last week. You know, actually being back on a tour bus for a couple of days, and you know how it is on the bus, and you know, even if you fly, or either way, you got to get in the groove. You know, you got to get your flight chops together. And of course, we're all probably out of sync with that. And we were on a bus for a couple of days. It was like, oh my God, it took me 4 days to come home and shake off the bus, like not sleeping. And by the way, McClain, your tax-free state of Texas, your roads suck. They're terrible down there. I don't know.
Fix your
roads.
They just concentrate on making great Mexican food there. So they don't roads or
we didn't even get that. We didn't get barbecue. We didn't get Mexican food. All we got was shitty Texas roads and a bus. Which is in a bus, it's like you're trying to get your sleeping job.
We did go to that. We did go to that one shitty Mexican food place.
It was shitty Mexican. Yeah. It wasn't great. It was not what you'd expect from San Antonio, but that's okay. That's all right.
No, that's a shame. Next time.
Next time. We're going to get great Mexican food? Wisconsin. That's where we're going to get some good Mexican food.
Okay.
By
the way, Dave,
I didn't know is that your stand-up routine?
No. It's Tom. First of all, it's Tom's birthday, by the way, on Saturday, Sunday. So happy birthday, Tom, in advance. And so for his birthday, and then mine's Thursday. So one way or another, we're going to get some great Mexican food in Wisconsin. Always known for their cheese quesadillas.
Mexican food.
Yeah.
Madison and where else?
Madison and Green Bay.
Yeah.
And then by you is
Chicago. Well, Madison's pretty close to Rockford too, actually. So
yeah.
That's not even a show. That's like we're doing a live stream thing. So there really isn't going to be a bunch of people there or anything. So that would probably be the thing for you to come out to. That's just like us doing a live stream.
Yeah. I could probably make it to that one.
Yeah, WJJO. I was just
we'll talk off air.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah, talk off air. Exactly. Yeah, we forgot the whole world's listening right now. So.
By the way, I just want to give a shameless plug. So today, my buddy Travis opened a really great pizza place in Oshkosh called 314 Pizza, and I went there today and had it. It's fucking great. You should check it out, Dave.
Yeah, any vegan stuff there?
Yeah, I think he does. I think he does.
The conversation goes.
I know. I forgot you're vegan, but
I know, dude. You moved. I know. Yeah. All right. Yeah, we gotta go. Yeah. Let's wrap this. I know
the host has muted your mic.
The land of cheese, and you go vegan. Like I think you might have missed your calling.
Oh. Hey man, timing, right? I'm a drummer.
Yeah, timing. They're known for their steaks there, I might add too. Me being a Midwest kid and all, it's like
all of us, whether we're
beef and cheese,
Welcome, Dave McClain. Welcome, Dave McClain, to the Midwest Metal Mafia, ladies and gentlemen.
All right.
Hey, welcome. All right, gentlemen. Well, listen, we'll let you go to bed, and thanks for staying up late with us. And Dax, finally, great to meet you. Like I said, we've had so many.
Dave, Tom.
Yes. Yeah. Awesome. There's always two Daves in every band I'm in for some reason.
There's always too many fucking Daves, man.
So, all right, gentlemen, have a good one. Hopefully we'll see you in a couple of weeks, even if it's just to break bread and hang out for a little bit. So
right on. Thanks for having me on. Right. And hey, Dax, see you, man. See you, Tom. See you, Dave.
Yeah. Be in touch.
Thank you. Talk to
you
soon.
See you guys. Yep.
Bye.